All right, good afternoon, and hey, this is the end of the week here for the Rants of Izzo show here on Spreely Media. Shortest week in the history of the show. It is Tuesday, October 22nd, 2024. Today's show is brought to you, as always, by Spreely Media, Spreely Digital Company, Spreely Commerce, Spreely Video, Speak Freely. Go to Spreely.com and check out everything that Spreely has to offer. There's news, there's video clips, there's a social media platform, a marketplace. There's a ton of stuff on Spreely. Speak Freely. Go and support the platform. And if you're on your phone, the easiest way to do it is to download Freedom Hub, all one word, Freedom Hub for your smartphone. And you can check out all the shows on there, including the Shannon Joy Show, Burn Pit Podcast, Report and Opine, our show, Evening Rants, so many more. Also, if you're looking to make some kind of a business move and you are slightly frustrated with how things are going, and you're like, man, I've always wanted to own a gym, well, get a franchise. Let me tell you something. It's the easiest thing. I wish I had done this. This is forzegym.com, FORZEGYM.com. Turnkey gyms, franchises, so much easier than starting your own and going through your own village, having to present them your business plan, rezoning if that's the problem, and all of a sudden you got to market. Trust me, I did it. My gym was 2,700 square foot. It was 3 years of hell, and I will never do it again. But if I ever did, I would go to forzegym.com and I would start my own franchise. And then let's go to First Class Sinners on Instagram, firstclasssinners.com. Motorcycle apparel. Trust me, these shirts are absolutely friggin' fantastic. I've been wearing mine last couple of days. I did wash it. But First Class Sinners over on Instagram, I followed them. Why am I not following? I followed you. See, you're all looking at this. You guys see this, right? I follow. I refresh the page. Oh, we have to talk to them about that. All right, and Eric Butler from Report and Opine is sitting today. Eric, tell everybody about that awesome book you have, please.
Absolutely. New York City, 2020, Gotham Unglued, right behind me here. Was that 8.5 by 11, 200? Is it 260 or 360? I forget. It's a lot of pages, full color photographs, so not many words for people who are adverse to reading. Just documenting the demise of New York, which has only gotten worse since I started this, and it will be taught in history classes very soon. New York City, 2020, Gotham Unglued, Eric Butler, Amazon.com.
All right, let's have a show here on Spreely.
Prepare yourself.
The opinions of the host and guests on this show are exclusively just that, opinions. That means that they shouldn't be the cause of your state of being offended. Why does everybody get so butthurt?
Okay, let's go. Ready, go!
Sit down, shut up, and pay attention.
Damn!
This is the Rants of Izzo Show with your hosts, Dominic Izzo, from porn to politics. We touch every third rail we can find. You might want to put your headphones on so your mom can't hear this. It's been called the most entertaining 60 minutes on the internet, and it starts now. Let's do this.
Good afternoon, everyone. This is the Rants of Izzo here on Spreely.com and over on the Rants of Izzo chat. April Schoen, how are you? Bev Banks, Sarah Nichols, Morgan. Kate, how are you? Sarah, I already said hi to Sarah Nichols. How are you? Franco, who's on today? Well, sitting with me as always is, as always on Tuesdays, is Eric Butler from Report and Opine. It is Kelly Wilson's birthday in the chat. Everybody say happy birthday to Kelly. If you're looking for the chat and you're like, oh my God, how do I get involved with that? If you're reading the narrative of the podcast, the vidcast on any platform you're watching, you could see a link to the chat. It's a personal chat that we have going on over on Telegram. You could join in and just enjoy it. But we see all you guys during the show, and we appreciate you. Eric Butler, man, you've been gone for 3-4 weeks. Dude. Where you been?
3 weeks, bro.
Damn, we missed you.
In a random remote Nebraska town working on Bitcoin mining, which I know a little bit about, but the more you learn about it, the more you realize you don't know anything. And it does sort of remind you of how people take so many things for granted, right? Like, okay, Bitcoin, the 50,000, 60,000, you don't really know what goes into it. Or same thing, the point I made about the New York City subway system, which can get you almost anywhere in that entire outside of Staten Island, but almost anywhere in four of those five boroughs. And you kind of forget the people who were putting in that work to make your life easier. That's what the whole Bitcoin mining thing reminds me of. And of course, it does remind me a little bit of growing cannabis. There's all this energy, all this like weird, secretive, non-disclosed locations, and all sorts of stuff. But I will say this: I think that was probably some of the toughest work. I mean, it's not really going to make sense to anybody who wasn't there, but these little Bitcoin miners are very, very heavy, and it's just it's a huge undertaking. So when you see people go on Robinhood or go on their little apps, they're like, "Oh, Bitcoin's $60,000," and have no idea how it's actually working. And I thought I did, but the more I learned, the more I realized I have no idea what's going on. So a lot of research to be done there.
How'd you get involved in that?
Well, one of my buddies several years ago mentioned something about crypto mining. So not going on Robinhood and buying Bitcoin, but more traditional, I guess, equities symbols, whatever, regular stock symbols in the mining sector. But they are publicly traded companies for mining Bitcoin. So one of my buddies got me into that several years ago. And I took it up a little bit, right? I took his advice on maybe some investments. And then more recently, one of my buddies, I was working out in Florida for a short time with Patrick Bet David. And one of my former coworkers mentioned it to me. I think he actually is weird. He like sent me a Father's Day text message. And I was like, I don't have kids, but thank you. And then we started talking from there. And yeah, then we're in this massive, I mean, we're talking massive, bro, acres. Okay, wait, I mean, I don't know in acres, but it's huge. These fields are huge. These miners are huge. There's one story I'm looking at it right now, from about a month ago, inside the Texas Bitcoin mine that's reportedly making residents sick. So there's a lot of ways to look at this, but I do think obviously you can't trust the mainstream media as far as that can be thrown.
Bitcoin mine making people sick? I thought Bitcoin was digital. Is that legitimate? Like there's a physical mine people go down in with a canary, and if the canary dies, get out because there's a gas leak? What the hell does that mean?
So it's not an actual mine. The miners are these computers. They're fairly small, right? Probably smaller than my desktop computer that I use to make videos, but twice as heavy. So they're not actually in a mine per se, but they are really huge undertaking when you're moving these, when you're upgrading these mine. I don't know. There's like NDAs and all sorts of things. I don't know what you can and can't say, but
well, let's keep it general here for a second, because you're new at this, right? I think this is a good conversation to have, because you just made a decision to get involved with this, correct?
That is correct.
All right, so I think we have to have a conversation about this, because people are intimidated. They are scared about being scammed. I'm in the network marketing space. So that's the pyramid scam, right? And we spent a lot of time in 2020 kind of getting people to pivot to the mindset of how do they work online. And what you saw during the lockdowns was, man, if you didn't have that skill, you were hurting. Sadly, any online industries, network marketing, affiliate marketing, Bitcoin, you get people who are shysters because they're not taught the proper way to sell, market, pitch, close, answer questions, be transparent. Hey, you're going to make $1 million in your first 2 weeks. And we know that's a lie. 90% of people fail. When you heard this, because clearly you've heard these pitches before, why did you decide to say, okay, Bitcoin it's legitimate. It's been around. There are people who do make a lot of money, and there's a lot of people who are being scammed. Why did you choose to make the decision to get into this?
Yeah, well, so it's a little bit different from just investing in Bitcoin, right? So one of my buddies who I do, trust far more so than the mainstream media, I should say. But when you have where you come from, okay, so I was in real estate in New York, and then I was writing some articles, and I was even writing some clickbait articles for like weird online publications. And one of my buddies pitched this to me, and it did seem like a good way to actually, this is going to sound corny, but to get a little bit closer to how things are actually done, right? I mean, I use the example over and over again of the engineering masterpiece that is the New York City subway that people are demanding should come for free. So when you have a whole bunch of weirdo political type people saying, oh, Bitcoin's, even I think Trump, even in the early years, was saying, oh, Bitcoin's a scam, this, that, and the other. But as I got reassurance from these gentlemen in this company in more of a contracting sense, right? So has really nothing to do with investing. It's like actual hard labor. And I said all that to say, it does make a difference in my mind. It made a difference to actually do something versus clicking around on a computer all day, which I thought I was good at. I don't know if I'm good at all. But so that's why I got into it. And I kind of got, I don't want to say tricked, but sort of like, oh, can you do one more week? Oh, can you do one more week? And last thing here, one of the guys did mention that you're going to miss it when you're gone, because at the time when you're in these containers, which I guess you would kind of compare to a mine, you're in these containers. It's very hard labor, and it feels like, oh, I'm not going to make it. I don't want to do this again. But then by the time you're done, you're like, okay, that was actually pretty good. I was able to get through this. I feel better. I can do it again if I want. So I don't know if that answers the question, but basically friend to a friend. And okay, seriously, last thing here. You go through, you're doing these clickbait jobs and news articles and all this stuff. And I think there's this big dead internet theory where basically a lot of stuff online is just dead. It's all fake. So this was a concrete way to actually, as strange as it sounds, do literal hard labor for return. And you can kind of see, boots on the ground. You can kind of see what's happening. You can learn, you can crack the door open, because there's still so much research to be done as far as this entire Bitcoin space that I'm just now, I invested a couple years ago, but I didn't think much of it because I was taking it all for granted. And now you realize, okay, this is really tough stuff. And that, and some people in Texas are complaining about another, not the one I was at, but another Bitcoin mine because it's too noisy. And it is noisy. But as I understand it, the mining company played it by the book. This wasn't a fly-by-night, overnight, operation. This was something that they spent millions of dollars, loads of time on, and they got the sound. Which the noise comes from fans cooling down the miner.
Right,
by the way.
Computers, right?
Yeah, so it's like a jet engine. You put your headphones on, whatever. But so they went through as I understand it, they jumped through the hoops to make sure that the decibel level was below the legal limit, and they put up what I call a Great Wall of China around the entire site. We're talking about acres around the whole thing to dampen the noise even further. But the people in the town are still claiming that it's too noisy, because obviously they wouldn't be happy with anything.
Everybody complains about something. No, exactly. I was curious about your journey, because this is a huge transition time where, like, I got approached by Amway when I was 18, and I'm not going to lie, I wish I had done it. I did not understand direct sales. I didn't understand the whole pyramid concept of it, but it's personality. Everybody in any industry that's done online or any type of sales, the number one key that you need is influence. And sadly, we have a monopoly of manipulation, not influence. And that's where you get all these, like, I swear by the network marketing space, MLM, multi-level marketing. I love it. But the amount of people I hate, it's just like law enforcement. I love law enforcement. We got a lot of shitty cops out there. I love network marketing. We have mountains of scumbag, get-rich-quick shysters who come in a company. Oh, you got to get in the ground floor. Here you go, boss babe. And we're going to be sitting on a beach, drinking wine, living our best lives ever, retiring our husbands. And here's me going, how do you pitch? How do you call people? How do you cold call them? Well, I don't cold call them. I put dancing bikini photos of me up online, and then they slide in my DMs, and I go, hey, babe, click this link. Right, you're not producing anything. And the game about network marketing is to teach people. You want to make them surpass you. So I think that we're in this, and it's sales. I cannot stress this enough. It is all sales. You are selling a product or a service, and period. But when it comes to like Bitcoin too, people are intimidated of it, overwhelmed with it, and they're gonna wind up getting the slick talk. People have no idea what it is, and you're not going to get rich quick. It's just not going to happen. But you can create an income, a substantial income, if you put the work in. And you talked about that. What you talked about doesn't sound like you were having fun the last 3 weeks. You were working the last 3 weeks.
Yeah. Yes, absolutely. And one thing about the Bitcoin, again, I do not understand all of the ins and outs, but probably more than the average person. However, there's another thing to be said for that has opened up an entirely new industry where everybody wants to be the next Bitcoin, right? Like you say, oh, this is going to be a get rich quick. And then you're going to have an abundance of what the crypto population will call shit coins, right? So we're Dogecoin. I mean, Elon is still like pushing the Dogecoin thing and whatever. He changed the acronym to Department of Government Efficiency or something like that. But when people see a guy like, there was a guy, I don't know if you probably recognize his face from like 2011 or something. He said, I bought Bitcoin for $1 each and you should too. And then fast forward 15 years and he's like a big millionaire on a boat. But so my point is, this Bitcoin space opens up an entirely new sector of people who are clearly trying to get rich quick. And some do, and some people, they can do the traditional pump and dump things, all this sort of stuff. But it basically boils down to, I mean, what I would compare to similar to a marijuana growing operation. I mean, I don't know how else to explain it, except for it takes loads of electricity, and it's fairly secretive, and hopefully some people make money. But it was interesting to see sort of the behind the curtain, and not all like, oh, $60,000 I'm on a boat, you're Leo DiCaprio,
I hate
money
that.
off the,
I hate that. That's the one thing that I can't stand about any type of online industry or anything that they portray it to be such fucking easy work, and it's not. It's work like anything else, and it's difficult. It sounded like you were in a setting where it was relatively controlled. When you're your own entrepreneur and you work from home, and there's all the distractions, like, oh, I could eat. I don't have to get out of bed as early. I could go do this. It's like you have to be. That's why I would say a majority of entrepreneurs fail is because they're lazy. They don't have discipline. And it's a scam. I didn't get rich quick. It's because you didn't put in the fucking work. And you're talking about the comparison to a marijuana growing plant. It's like the people who get involved with any type of online business, they think that there's nothing involved, your monthly nut to keep it going, right? So you don't I love the people who are in my particular field, the anti-MLM community, who you take a person who, they get involved, right? If I recruit somebody and that person decides they want to take pride in their business, they go, I'm a small business owner. Well, then you get all these people who are like, they shit on them. You're not a business owner. And my comparison is always, well, go shit on the little girl who's selling a lemonade stand. You want to be that kind of a fucking cunt. But they blows. You have no overhead. You have no this. Really? Yeah, they got to pay their phone bill every month. That's for business. Or their internet bill. If they're working from home, I don't care what it is. You go to the store and you buy a box of pens and fucking yellow pads to keep the names of people you're calling. You have business expenses. I don't care if it's like $50 a month or whatnot to run your business. The mindset was the biggest change that I had to adopt to go from not understand, because I've been involved with MLM since 2011, 2012, and I didn't understand in the beginning. I thought it was like anything else. I did that whole same stuff. Eric, man, all you got to do is you got to get 2 people. And listen, you're going to be rich inside of 6 months. I swear, I did that same shit until I realized, wait a second. This is nothing more than treating people as if they're their own location franchises. And that means that if I opened up a coffee house tomorrow and it became successful, then you come along and you're like, man, I want to buy into your coffee shop. Like, okay, here's the name. That's it. Go ahead. Here's the location. Do it. And you're like, I've never made a cup of coffee or ran a business in my life. Well, that's not my problem. My job would be to go, okay, hey, this is how you take the inventory. This is how you work their cash register. This is how you fit the recipes for the coffee to make sure it's got the same standard as ours is. Is it not? And that's what people don't do. People in the online space, they will bring people in and they don't pour into them. And I'm an asshole if you work with me. My thing is, listen, I expect to have contact with you every day. And you know within the first week, if you don't have contact with that person, you're like, I'm just fucking done. It's like I was so starving to succeed when I found out that you could make a living in this business that I was annoying the shit out of my upline. I don't understand this. I don't understand this. I watched every fucking video there was by the people who were actually the big influencers. And I started to see, yeah, a lot of you guys aren't teaching anything. So then I had to go to outside sales learning. If you are in any type of online business, I don't care if it's Bitcoin, I don't care if it's MLM, I don't care what it is. The people I strongly suggest that you go and pay attention to are like Oren Clough. Oren Clough is probably the greatest pitch educator on the planet. And I didn't realize, like, during the pandemic, we were coming up in these times of Zooms. Like, that was the greatest thing in the world. Because when I got first involved in this industry, it was living room shit. And they're like, oh, you got to invite people to your home and do these presents. I'm like, I'm not fucking doing this, dude. I'm not going to have people in my living room. Here's a lawn chair. Here's a dining room chair. It's so unprofessional. And then, but the Zooms, holy shit, man. I was getting hundreds of people on Zoom presentations because it was easy. It clicked for me. But then you get the Zooms, and in the beginning, I wasn't, taking the job seriously. Then I started getting training, and I'm like, wait a second, this is my fucking meeting. This is my presentation. And I started treating it as if I was in person and this was a business. Stopped wearing jeans and t-shirts, put back on suits, was presentable, took myself seriously. Hey guys, it's 8:00. We're getting going right now. Anybody who's not in by 8:05, we're not letting them in. I said, everybody, just if you have kids in the background, do me a favor, get to an area where, you either turn your camera off or your mic off, mute yourselves. I don't want you give commands. You take it seriously, and people gravitate towards people who actually take themselves seriously. So the amount of work that has to be done for an online business is insane, because when it all boils down to it, Bitcoin might be great. Bitcoin might be awesome, but Eric Butler's the product. Eric Butler is what's going to convince somebody to get involved with Bitcoin. So there's a lot of work that needs to be done. And I'm glad you brought this up, because it's like, I think people need to start looking into pivoting, because it's, I'm born in the 70s, and it's like, man, I don't want to be in 50s, 60s doing labor jobs, and everything moves to online. And my last point is, I met a guy in 2019. He was a fiduciary from India, math whiz. And he's like, you Americans are going to have to start thinking of how you're going to make money, because AI is going to take over. And I thought he meant like, the robots coming in. And I go, what? And he goes, well, you think about it, it's already taking over. I go, what? He goes, you've got kiosks at your McDonald's, don't you? I went, yeah. He goes, well, there's 5 jobs that aren't needed. And I started to think, shit. I mean, I was mid-30s or mid-40s, early 40s then. And I'm like, what am I going to do? All I know how to do is be a cop or a bartender. I don't know anything else. And at that time, I'm like, shit, I better learn to pivot. So I looked back into online sales, and I'm like, oh, this was the industry is saturated with shit people, which means if you clean up your image, if you operate with integrity, you'll smoke everybody out there, and it's a never-ending opportunity. So I think you're in a great field, and I'm curious to see what happens the direction you go.
Yeah, and for the record, it was really quite strict. I don't know. Strict is the word, but I mean, you say, we open the Zoom meeting at 8. If you're not in by 8:05, we're talking like this starts at 8. You got till 8:02, bro. Like this is not, and which I truly do enjoy, because I can't stand when you show up to a job interview and the interviewer is even like 5-6 minutes late. It's like a little bit too much, but yeah, it was fun. We'll see where it goes. And to the credit of one of our team leaders, I guess, like, I was eager to finish up, but now I'm kind of recovering and eager to get back. So we'll see where that goes. And then also really quickly, since you're are big in the MLM lane, or understand that sector a little bit, this has really nothing to do. Like, we don't have show notes, as you know. I did watch a documentary, because yesterday, for the past few days, I've just been like, it was weird. I was like in this weird little time capsule, like little time warp in Nebraska, and I'm back in Houston, Texas. But I saw a documentary about some Monet. Yeah, some lady who was, again, I don't know this lady from a ham sandwich, but of course it was a homicide investigation after she was posting all this stuff online and didn't make any money. So I said all that to say, do you know anything about Monet?
Yeah, I know a lot of people in there. I'll give her a plug too. Amber, Tito Ortiz's wife. We had a conversation 3 years ago, and she was talking about getting into MLM, and I gave her the breakdown. I told her, this is this is how you got to do it, blah, blah, blah. And she crushed it. She got involved with Monet. I think she's still with them, and she crushes it. Yeah. It's a strong company.
Are they now? Because from the documentary I watched, this is just some like YouTube, I don't know, 30-minute YouTube documentary or something. But it seems like I don't understand the actual sales pipeline. Like, you could post however many reels or TikToks you want. Does that truly translate into sales?
It's marketing. So this is how I got really, if anybody, because some of you guys out there have wives who are doing this shit, and she doesn't see a fucking dime from it. You've got, what do you call it? Boxes of product in the house, and she's always making reels, and she sees nothing, sells nothing, right? Back when I first started this, there was no online that you could leverage for it. As a matter of fact, the company I started with in late 2011, early 2012, I was with for several years. I left because I got butt hurt, because I was killing it, because I leveraged social media and my YouTube channel, and I started getting sales and growth in this and that. And the company said that, you have to stop leveraging your network or your internet, your social media, because it's an unfair advantage. So I'm like, what? Right. Well, that was it. Right. So I went, no, I'm done with this. I left. I went to another company for a few years, actually learned the business, but I'm back with that company I started with, and I ranked to the top within 90 days, and I just decided, well, if I'm coming back, I'm going to crush it this time. Anyways, to the point, it's marketing. And when I wanted to take it seriously, there was 2 videos I watched. One is John Oliver. And anybody who knows who he is, I think he's a late night host, John Oliver, comedian, British guy. He did a 30-minute video on this pyramid scam of MLM, and he featured Herbalife and another one, but it was mainly Herbalife. And if you watch it, I think it's got 30 million views. And all it is, if you really get involved with network marketing and you want to get sick to your stomach, go read the comments. It's confirmation bias. That's all it is. And I was watching it getting sick. I'm like, oh, I can't believe I got back in this fucking scam. And I'm like, shit, why did I do this? But I knew that I had to get to the other side. I had to go through this to get to the other side of the tunnel. I discovered who Patrick Bet-David was, because Patrick Bet-David did a response to that video that's probably only got 500,000 views, where he's got a blackboard and he breaks down what network marketing is, When he explained it, I went, I'm not in a scam. Holy shit. All network marketing is you leverage your network for sales, right? And there's sales and there's marketing. Sales is, hey, Eric, I've got this CUNT mug, and oh my God, you got to buy it. It's going to change your life. This is fantastic. Fucking A, it's great. And you're like, whatever. Marketing is, I sit there, I'm having my best life ever. I've got 3 big-titted Swedish bikini models who are all sitting next to me, and you come up and go, dude, I want to live your fucking life. What do you do? And I go, I drink my coffee out of this mug. So one attracts you to me. The other is I go directly to you. When I learned that, I went, okay. Now the problem is everybody and their mother, they do this. If you look, the only real people who are successful doing the model that what social media does is attractive people. That's it. Attractive people. People who say they're not offering value at all. You've got tits out, mom, she's her husband's a cuckold, fucking she's got the wine glass, and then you've got 4 other blondes behind her. They're all doing a sequence dance and saying click the link to pivot. What? Okay, that's marketing. You properly marketed. How do you duplicate that skill set? And they all say the same fucking thing. You got to believe in yourself. You got to believe in yourself. I've been to so many fucking presentations where that's all they said. You have to believe in yourself and blah, blah, and until it clicked and they didn't explain it the right way. I was always hung up on, back before the internet, of how do I talk to people? Because this is a funnel business, right? If I don't talk to people and talk about what my product is, they're not going to buy it, because that's the power of it. I'm supposed to market this to you to purchase. That's the model for network marketing, is they save on all advertising and we're the advertisers, and it's 100% commission. But I didn't notice that. It's like, when I would go, man, I would ask these gurus, right? These guys who are making $275,000 a month. I would go, how did you do it? Well, I just talked to 3 people a day. Okay, awesome. How did you do that? Well, I talked to 3 people a day. I'm not kidding. There's a fucking very famous Texan he makes $275 a month, and I met him, same fucking answer. The millionaires who are in my company, same thing. How did you make $1 million a month? I talked to 3 people a day. Nobody could answer. And it was so simple. I'd go, did you bump into them in the grocery store and do like the Christians do, where they go, hey, attention shoppers, Jesus is your friend. The same shit. Hey, attention, Eric, I've got this great product for you. I'm like, did you call people during dinner? Did you call people during the morning hours? Because I had analysis paralysis, because all of a sudden here I'm going, wait a second. I can't call people at 9 o'clock in the morning, because on the East Coast, that's 10 a.m. and they're already in their day. And on the West Coast, it's 7 a.m. They're not even started yet. And in the Central and a Mountain, they're kind of driving to work. So I don't know what to do. Then what am I going to do? I'm not going to bother them during work hours, and I'm not going to bother them at dinner time. I was quitting I was paralyzed. I didn't do anything for months until I realized that belief part. I didn't have the answers to solve my own problems. The belief part comes in where it's literally, you cannot sell, pitch, advocate, market anything you don't believe in, right? And the number one problem that people have is, I can't get involved with a sales job unless it's something I believe in. Bullshit. Your kids are starving. You're going to believe that the fucking car dealership you go and sell cars for, that car will get them from point A to point fucking B. Don't tell me, well, I don't believe in Acuras versus BMWs. You believe in fucking food on the table, don't you? So I had to learn the business. I had to learn the Robert Kiyosaki, who wrote Rich Dad Poor Dad, the business model of his philosophy of network marketing, which is, instead of you selling a product or service, you create the franchises and people, and they become perpetual duplicators of that selling a product or service. And you just open up as many franchises as possible. I needed to learn the numbers. I need to learn that network marketing is a $31.2 billion a year industry. I had to learn that 75%, when they talk about 75% of people fail in their first 6 months, I'm like, okay, but how? I had to learn that, because I needed all these answers, right? I get you on the phone and you're going, the first few years it was, I'd go, Eric, I'm in this business. You go, that's a pyramid scam. And I would go, well, it's really not, because, you do this and that. And now if I go, Eric, you got to look at this business. You go, well, that's a pyramid scam. And I go, I appreciate you mentioning that. Yeah, I was in law enforcement, and my chief made X amount of dollars. Then there was my 2 lieutenants under him. There's my 3 commanders. There's a bunch of patrol officers who were at the bottom. I was in a pyramid scam when I was a cop. It's just a structure. It's a business structure. Then I would go in the definition of scam versus scheme, and how scam is illegal, scheme is a plan. Then people would talk about, well, you do X, Y, and Z. Well, there's these 75% of people all fail. I'm glad you brought that up, because if you look at the volume of what they work 2 hours a month. If you work 2 hours a month at your job, would you make any money? No, I wouldn't. So this is how I think the SEC reports that things are scamming. The light bulb went off when all of a sudden I knew the business inside and out. I knew the recruiting tactics. I knew the difference between manipulation and influence. That all of a sudden, that belief, I went, holy shit, these morons are right. They just don't realize they're right. They're selling a dream, and they all fucking sell the dream. You just got to go out and get 2 people, and you're going to live in a mansion with your beautiful bride. How do you fucking sell? Well, when you believe, it's easy. It's easy to sell because you have the answer to every question. The analogy I always give, and I know I'm long-winded on this, is when you first get in a car, you're 16 years old, you learn how to drive, your hands are at 10 and 2, you look in the rearview mirror, you're freaking out, you're using your turn signal. I put you on I-90 in Chicago, and you're trying to navigate traffic, you're terrified. But the more that you do it, 10 years from now, you could be driving on 90 with a cheeseburger in one hand, texting in the other, using your knee, and you could still navigate when the pickup truck in front of you dumps, and you've got to navigate, you got to dodge all that debris that's flying on the road. So you got to spend more than a week doing this job, because then you'll build up that skill set. But I mean, and there's so much about this industry. I absolutely love it. People do scam in it. You get the housewives who think it's not hard work. It is a ton of work, and it is service. It is service. If you are not going into a business, because this is the typical call, right? Hey, Eric, because you got to get people on the phone. People, they text, and I think that's the worst shit in the planet. Hey, hope you're well. I got a business opportunity for you. I get that shit all the time from people, and I go, are you trying to pitch me? Like, well, yeah, do you want help with your pitch? Because it fucking sucks. And when I started realizing that you have to get personal, business changed. Instead of going, hey, Eric, bro, haven't talked to you in 6 months. Dude, love your book online. I see it. And then I wait for you to respond. Hey, I got an opportunity I want to show you. That's not doing anything for you. My tactic is very aggressive. It's very simple. It's, Eric, haven't talked to you in about 6 months. I'm a shitty friend, is what it is. I saw that you have a book. If you're selling that, do me a favor. Let me know if I can do anything to promote your book, market your book, help you increase sales. And if that's something you want to do, all I ask in return is you give me 5 minutes to pitch you my business. This is 100% a business call. I'm not trying to be social at all, but I want to serve you. So let me help you first. And if you like what I could do, then I want to give an opportunity to wind up telling you what I do. And people just don't do that shit, dude. They fucking don't.
Yeah. And that's why, full circle, I think we peaked at the Nokia. That's just me. Mm-hmm. When you could make a call, you could call your parents, you could call your friends, but you had to know stuff. You couldn't just settle an argument by looking. Now we all just look at our iPhones. When was LeBron James drafted, or when it just happens in an instant. So that's what I think. We peaked at the Nokia, but that's a little bit of a different story. And what did we miss? What did I miss? Like, I mean, I feel like I try to stay in the loop.
We'll transition that just before anybody does. If you're watching and you are involved in any type of online sales, this is the bull of MLM, network marketing warfare. There's 293 videos, all the way from interviews. I was very, 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 very proud to know her, but I've got interviews with Jessie Lee Ward, who was the greatest network marketer of all time. I've got Amber on a video talking about Monet when she was in it, to answer that question. I've got people like, oh my God, I can't remember what her name is, but she was fucking fantastic. Anyways.
I know this is probably a silly question because I just watched this documentary, but the Monet, that's makeup. Is that
what is it called?
Monet.
Yeah, Monet. Hair product.
Monet hair product.
Monet Death. Let me look at that really quick.
It was like a YouTube documentary I just watched last night. I think it might be older. It was like, hot hot chick who was she had another job, and then her Monet business took off, and then somebody got to her. That's a completely different story. But I just feel like I tried to stay updated as best I could, but it was very difficult. And all I know is we had a couple of hurricanes.
Oh, we had a lot of shit. Well, since
I was very selfish because the Miami, South Carolina, North Carolina, whatever, those hurricanes were getting national attention. When in Houston, we had one called Hurricane Beryl that was not national news. And I do understand it now. I didn't realize at the time how bad some of the devastation from those hurricanes were, but our power was still out longer, which is crazy.
Yeah, I'm kind of glad I didn't get that at all. While you are back, and we missed it yesterday because it was Monday, Eric, you get to play Guess the Number. It was a weekend in Chicago. It was actually a very nice weekend. It was like 70s. It was fantastic. I haven't ridden my bike in 4 or 5 weeks because I have a gas leak, so now I got to change that on my Valkyrie. So next year I'll be riding you. But Eric, how many people do you think were shot this weekend in Chicago? How many people do you think were shot?
And like Chicago proper, like the city.
The city, none of the suburbs at all, just the city.
Dude, this has got to be a trick question. 16?
36 is the answer.
16 would be. I thought 16 would be like a high number for like a holiday weekend. Like,
sure, you
have 5, 10. So 5 over a 3-day weekend. You have 5 each day, and then there's an extra one floating around. But this was just a regular. Oh, was it Columbus? No, that was last week.
Yeah.
I don't know.
How many people?
So what the hell is going on out there?
Well, we have more game to play. How many people do you think were killed this weekend in Chicago?
Wait, so did you say it was 36 or 39 that were shot?
36 that were shot.
36 out of those 36.
Yeah.
Dude, 12.
Very close. The answer is 11.
Okay.
Very close. Now let's get in the real numbers. We are in the 22nd day of October. In the first 22 days of this month, how many people do you think have been killed in the city of Chicago?
In 22 days?
Yeah.
Wait.
Yeah. The first 22 days, how many people do you think have been killed in Chicago?
I have no idea, bro. I mean, I want to give it the benefit of the doubt and go a little bit lower, but we've already established 20. How about that? Almost 1 per day?
42. So that's 2 per day. Yeah, it's 1.9 people per day. Now, in the first 22 days of October 2024, how many people have been shot in the city of Chicago?
$35.
Would you like to try again?
No, I'm sticking with it.
175 people have been shot in the first 20 days of Chicago, which is 7.9
in 22 days.
9545455. 8 fucking people are shot every day here in Chicago.
Bro.
Yeah.
How does that stack up against Oakland? My brain is all Oakland. You see stories every day, really, of the sideshows and the murders and all that stuff. But Chicago, I mean, this sounds like it's just absolutely astronomically worse than Oakland, which is crazy. I mean, but I don't know for sure.
I don't know. I don't have that information because it's all
that would be interesting to look at, because I'm constantly screaming about Oakland, screaming about San Francisco. I mean, the places I know best, as you know, the Bay Area and New York. And I follow a little bit of Texas, which we had the mayor in a town just south of Houston claiming there was a race. He went full Jussie Smollett. He sent a note to himself and everything. So I follow up a little bit on like, you know, the places where I know best, and then some of the places where I've lived in, you know, just in the past couple of years since Rona. But Chicago is like not really on my right as far as it's Chief Keef. You know, like I don't know what there's memes. There's a lot of memes about. Okay, sorry, I'm all over the place now. But there was a meme of a black woman who was going to shoot at a cop, and I genuinely thought it was AI. You've probably seen this image. I thought it was an AI generated like image, but it turns out it was real. And the meme just says, "This racist cop wouldn't let this black woman shoot him," which I thought was fake. I thought it was an AI generated image, but it turns out it's actually real. I don't know if you've seen that.
No, which I didn't see that.
I think, dude, don't quote me on this. I think she was like in a hallway or something, and she's like holding a knife.
Oh, no. I did that. I did a full breakdown on it. I did a full breakdown on that video. And
see, that's what I feel like I'm out of the loop on, those type of stories, you know?
Oh yeah. That's horrible. Hang on. I want to play this for you. Because I had to suffer for this. Oh, come on. How do I not do this? Hang on. I don't want to hide this yet. Tim runs. Okay. I got to pull this up because this is, yeah.
The suspense is killing me.
Oh, no, it's, you know, this is from Tim Runs His Mouth on Instagram. I'm going to play audio of, I'm just going to play this.
Presidential song for anyone. One Nation Under a Groove by Funkadelic. One nation under a groove. Getting down just for the funk of it. Can I get it on the...
Hang on, let me play that again in case you missed it.
Presidential song for anyone. One Nation Under a Groove by Funkadelic. One nation under a groove. Getting down just for the funk of it. Can I get it on the...
Do you want me to play it one more time so it gets in your brain? You can have an earworm?
Oh my God.
Yeah.
This lady. I didn't see that clip.
No, I saw it last night, and I'm like, "Fuck you! You're all gonna suffer with me." So I had to.
So this was recent. Was this?
I don't know. I just saw that for the first time. I was like, "What the hell?"
Now, and I know, you know, I've had a lot of discussions, a lot of conversations with people, but, dude, okay, at its most basic level, are they really of the belief that people are genuinely that stupid, or is this some weirdo like accelerationist type stuff?
It is, and we're in trouble. My dad brought up a point, and I'm hoping he's right. My dad, I will never argue politics with him because he's always right about shit. I was like, dude, we're fucked because the amount of people who believe her, like all the young people, this and that, who are just so caught up in this. And he goes, she's not going to win. I go, what? He goes, young people don't go out to vote. And I'm hoping that when you think about all these kids who they don't even go to work, or they go to work and they can't even show up on time. We're expecting them to stand in line and vote and wait. He's got a point. I'm like, man, that might be the saving grace where they just think other people are going to do the voting and that's all that matters. So I'm hoping, otherwise, to be honest, we're fucked. We are so fucked.
I think he does have a point, and I made a very similar point 4 years ago. We all remember the Summer of Love, Fentanyl Floyd, the fireworks, which I think some people don't remember, but I will never forget it. You could look, I mean, Mayor Eric Adams of New York City when he was Brooklyn Borough president.
Oh, your boy's in trouble now, but go ahead.
Let for one reason or another, let's hope, but we all know they're not gonna. Oh, we're gonna put in Curtis Lee or some common sense governance. That's not gonna happen. But Eric Adams and these people, they kick back Kathy, right? There's no. When does it stop? Okay, everybody knows. You even got AOC and some of the weirdo hard lefties claiming that Eric Adams is corrupt. But do you think for one split second they're not going to put somebody even wackier in? And I never thought I would say this because I cannot stand Eric Adams, but I don't think he was quite as bad as de Blasio. And we can all remember a time when I lived in New York where it wasn't overrun with criminal illegals. I mean, bro, you guys, you ruined I forgot where the point I was even starting to make. I just get so triggered about New York and the criminal illegals who I have been personally attacked. I wish I could run that clip, right? These people, do they think? I don't think they think everybody is quite as dumb as they want us to believe, if that makes sense. So the media, I always say this, I've probably said this on the show before, but the media, the lamestream mediocres or whatever you want to call it, obviously works in two ways. So you can brainwash. You see the meme of the girl sitting in a house on fire and she says, yes, but abortion. So you can brainwash stupid people, but you can also trick rational people into believing they are in the slim minority, which they are not. So here's where I want to go back to your dad's point, is that years ago, I made the joke that, oh yeah, do we really think that a whole bunch of the Bo Jiden voters, the weirdo Antifa mob, they diligently dropped a ballot in the mail? That I would doubt they would even be bothered to drop a paper ballot in the mail. And you go around New York, I have the receipts, bro. You go around New York and you could see some street artist, whatever. I grew up doing graffiti, so I know all about that realm. Some street artists pasting up posters of Joe Biden on a stamp or something, like some big U.S. Postal Service thing, a huge 18 by 24 like poster that says the U.S. Postal Service delivers for Joe. So
what?
They
deliver for us. I'm so tired of this politics, dude. You people work for the fucking people. Government for the people, not people for the government.
Yeah, but that ship sailed a long time ago. So the point is, I was making an observation that I truly didn't believe that all those 81 million voters or however many 50 million, 40 million that were rioting all over diligently dropped a ballot in the mail. I don't think so. And I think that's basically what your dad is saying. Like, I don't think a bunch of these kids are going to go out and vote. Oh, you're going to get off you're going to watch Call Her Daddy and then you're going to go vote for Kamala? I don't think so, bro.
I'm hoping he's right. I really am.
I'm hoping he's right too.
If they're relying on like Taylor Swift's audience to vote, then well, congratulations. It'll be proven women did destroy America. But I don't. Ugh.
And it's pretty clear, bro. Without getting like too racial or whatever, like, dude, you can go hours. You could watch hours of footage on YouTube alone. Go through. I think it was in Chicago, actually. Did you see that viral clip from a week or two ago? Oh. The guy who was working at the gas station and asking the black guys who they're voting for.
Oh no, I didn't.
It went pretty viral. Maybe you scrolled past it, or maybe it didn't get it onto your radar. And clearly, I'm sure he spoke to everybody that day or whatever.
They're probably voting for Trump too, aren't they?
They're all voting for Trump, right? And they're not shy about it. This isn't the days of 2015,
dude. When it comes to black men, do you really? And I don't want to get racial, and it's like but I always go that way, anyways. Have you ever gone to like black dating forums on Facebook? I used to go years ago, and you would look at the amount of black women who complain about black men dating white women. And it's not a secret in the black community that black women are loud, overbearing. They keep men in their feminine by being masculine. You really think that a black strong man wants to vote for a woman like Kamala Harris? I said it. I wrote a meme about it. I said the left is so stupid. If they really wanted to keep the black male vote, instead of running Kamala Harris, as this strong black woman, they should have run a submissive 300-pound blonde chick with a 4-foot wide ass and a 750 credit score. Mm-hmm.
That would have resonated.
Yeah, that would have.
And just really quickly, as long as we're on the this has very little to do with anything else, but I just figured it's a loose tie-in with this racial insensitivity that we've got going. But when I was up in Nebraska, and there's not much going on. I went to go watch Joker 2, right? A matinee.
I heard it bombed.
Dude, it was like $5 for a matinee in Nebraska. So I went to go watch it. I was a big fan of the first Joker, so I went to go watch it. They could have trimmed 45 minutes out of the movie and removed all the songs and it would have been okay. But that's beside the point. These kids come in, I don't know, 5 or 6 little black kids come into the movie theater like 30 minutes into the movie, start
talking.
Loud
talking.
Dude, but then they sit down in the front and then a couple minutes goes by and then they go out the other side and it's just like, dude, you guys are the picture of this stereotype. Same thing at the breakfast or at the hotel, or they have a nice little breakfast buffet and these young kids, maybe 12, 13, three little black kids making a complete mess, stalling the line, going back and making more food. It's just like, dude, how are you living up to this stereotype so perfectly when all you have to do is go up, get your cereal, get your toast, and go? And you're walking around. It's just like, nobody. Where are your parents at? By the way, you're at this hotel. Where's your mom? Where's your dad? Who is gonna reel you in? And it's just like, bro, you gotta stop but I guess they're not, bro. I guess they're not.
No, stereotypes are valid for a reason, including everybody's race, everybody's culture. The leftist memes, like you see like the green hair and the purple hair, and you're like, dude, can you just surprise me? Like, can you just maybe you could go dye your hair purple and then start spewing taxation is theft, or maybe you could just look normal and start talking about killing your baby, but you look the part. And it's just throw us for a loop. Denying stereotypes is one of the biggest reasons why our culture sucks. If we embraced them, oh my God, we'd have harmony. Especially if you've listened to the show the last several weeks and you've been listening to the culture we've been talking about nonstop. That's a different story entirely. Oh, damn. It's just so disappointing that these people just live up to the stereotypes. But yeah, what do you mean these people, Eric? I mean these people.
Exactly.
One of my favorite things to do is all I do is type in one word. Whenever I see something that's like expected online, like somebody shares a meme about something, all I do is type the word culture. That's it. And then you get all the passive aggressive people. Well, what culture are you talking about? What are you it's all I do. Culture. And people lose their fucking minds because every culture, it's not race. It's never been racist. It's a problem. It's culture. But the two main attributes for culture are language, what you speak, and how you look. You're not going to get off the boat Irish people moving into fucking Chinatown. They don't look alike and they don't speak the same language. I don't know why this has been a problem, but it is what it is. Eric, tell everybody about that awesome book you have.
New York City, 2020, Gotham Unglued, by myself, Eric Butler. Go ahead and find that on Amazon.com. Please, we need a couple people to buy it so we can counteract these returns. I don't know who would return the book for the life of me because, I guess you read it, you looked at the photos, and then you returned it. But whatever. Please go buy New York City 2020, Gotham Unglued. Only gets better with age.
And don't return it. You're a piece of shit if you do. Guys, enjoy the rest of the week. I got wedding shit to do, man. It's going to be a damn busy week. We'll be back Tuesday with Eric. That's the next show. So next time we'll be live. Eric, I'll see you again. Other than that, no Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, or Monday. Appreciate everything. So if you're not going to watch me, go watch Report No Pine. Go watch the Burn Pit podcast. Go watch Shannon Joy, Evening Rants, anybody else on Spreely. This is a good time for you to navigate Spreely.com and check out the other shows that are on there for your consumption, viewing, and listening pleasure. Have a phenomenal damn day. Go out and help somebody today. And if you can't help them, just don't hurt them. Be a good person. And don't be so fucking sensitive, too. If your culture is challenged, maybe look at yourself. You got a fucking problem. We all do. See you guys later on.